Let me start off by asking, what is it that actually makes a fight scene? Is it the punches that are thrown or the gunshots that are fired? Is it the battle between good and evil? Is it the sheer amazement at how one character can seemingly take on what seems to be an entire army? Or is it the pure joy of two extremely strong characters finally coming face to face? Well, I am here to argue that none of these factors actually matter in the visual experience of a fight scene. What actually makes a fight scene is the story that is told throughout the fight. One show which has mastered this art is My Hero Academia. From the All Might vs. Nomu fight in Season 1 to the Hero Killer Stain arc in Season 2, we get some immaculately played out fight scenes. However, today I am going to talk about one fight scene which to me stands out the most. The Deku vs. Kacchan fight scene in Season 3. The build up to this fight started from the very first episode. These two were always at odds with each other, with Deku always wanting to be as cool as Kacchan, while Bakugo always saw him as an infidel. Right from the start, we get to see how Kacchan always bullies Deku, but Deku never loses his kind-heartedness. Meanwhile, Bakugo goes on to become a brash brute who is still always at the top. We got a glimpse of what a fight between these two might actually look like back in Season 1. But this was more about Izuku proving himself than both of them fighting as equals. But now jump to Season 3 and Izuku has proved himself to be one of the top players. Meanwhile, Bakugo is the one who got captured in the All Might vs. All for One fight and feels that he is weak. The emotional driving point in this fight is that Bakugo also always wanted to be like All Might. All Might is his hero and he admires him just as much as Izuku. He doesn't just show it as outwardly as Izuku does. The question in his mind now is, why did All Might choose Izuku? In his own words,
is it because you looked up to him more than I did? And if that's the case, does it mean everything I've done to be like him is wrong?
He questions himself as to what his mistake is. He also wants to be the number one hero, but All Might chose Izuku. Why is it that this quirkless kid is better than him? This is the emotional backdrop for this fight. Another aspect that can make a fight scene interesting is the technicality or the technical prowess of the fighters. A fight that is technically weak can still be made interesting or fun to watch by the story that is being told. However, a technically strong fight makes the visual experience stunning. The standout point of this fight, however, is the fact that the technicality of the fight tells another story altogether. Deku always used to break his bones as he could not control the power of One for All. Even now, he can only use 5% of his total power. Add to this the fact that he can no longer use his hands as he has damaged them too much. He has figured out a way around this by using his legs more. Bakugo is offended by this because he has copied his movement patterns and his fighting style. He also feels that he is right where he was at the beginning, even though Izuku has progressed leaps and bounds. He feels that he has to prove himself, even though that is hardly the case. Everything has been set up perfectly for this fight. It starts off with Deku on the back foot, as he has always been in this relationship. Bakugo, whenever he fights, is always filled with rage and always gains the upper hand. But in this fight, even before it has begun, he has already lost. At about the midway point in this fight, Kacchan talks about another thing that has been eating him for some time now. He feels that he is the reason that All Might lost his powers. If he had been a little stronger and had not been captured by the villains, then All Might would still be the world symbol of peace. The chaos that has ensued in the aftermath of All Might's retirement would not have taken place if not for Bakugo being caught. At this point, Deku realizes that this fight is no longer about winning or losing. Fighting is the only way that Bakugo knows to let out his emotions. He can no longer play defense because he owes that much to Kacchan. Bakugo is on the back foot and tries to regain the upper hand, but Deku just keeps on coming. Bakugo, now frustrated, lets out another point which is a driving factor for his rage. He thinks that Izuku has always looked down on him, that he thinks he is better than Bakugo. Now this enrages Izuku. The person he looks up to the most thinks that he looks down on him. All might be Izuku's role model, but Kacchan is the hero that he sees every day. His never give up, never back down attitude is what Izuku wanted to have. Kacchan was and will always be Deku's hero. He imitates him not because he looks down on him, but because that is the only way he knows how to win. His idea of victory is entangled with the image of Kacchan. At times, he acts brash, just like Kacchan, because that is the only way he knows how to attain victory. Now this is when this turns into an actual fight. Both of them have stated their emotions, and it's only a matter of letting it out completely. Even though Deku manages to use up to 8% of his power, the fight ends in a decisive victory for Kacchan. But this is not what he wanted. This was not his goal. He wanted to lose. He needed to know that All Might has given his powers to someone who would handle it better than himself. All Might was the hero. No one even came close to matching his power. His successor should also have the same kind of presence. But here he was, losing to Kacchan, the boy because of whom All Might lost his powers. All Kacchan could think about was, how could Deku lose? How? All Might comes in and tries to get some control over the situation. Kacchan agrees to keep the source of Izuku's power a secret. This is not one of those long played out fight scenes which last several episodes and contains many small sequences. This is just one fight scene lasting one single episode. It is one brilliant scene which gives us one brilliant episode. Every frame has purpose. The fight is filled with emotional and technical depth. More importantly, it gives us a better understanding of the underlying theme of My Hero Academia. What does it really mean to be a hero? So, this was my take on this fight. If you enjoyed this video, then please press the like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content.